Right, kids.
Hello.
How's it going? This is me. This is Josh,
It's me, Alex. It's me, Alex.
and together we are the review buddies. Insert intro. Da, 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 da.
Josh, I'm hoping now for like a really like sort of like over the top intro.
want an animated opening.
I want no, I want like a really over the top intro with like pictures that just are not related to the like just unrelated to the subject.
With Japanese song.
Like a really heavy
Death
metal.
Note opener.
Yeah.
I think.
I want it to be like Joey put on something that goes yeah. I want it to be like that and like you just have pictures of us going at like light speed.
Do you know what I think?
What?
I think we should start that again.
Really?
Yeah.
I think
It's
so.
just
I don't know. I think we should roll with.
I think we should roll with it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
okay.
We've come this far.
Yeah.
So today we're gonna review Age of Ultron. Woo!
Yay!
What we think of that, kids?
Well, I seem to be the person who fully enjoyed it.
Whilst me and other Alex are just kind of like, eh.
Yeah.
So overall, what did we both think? What did we all think of it?
Well, I wrote notes.
I was prepared, so I'm just gonna go off the top of my head. So I made it sound like a complete twat.
Same.
No, well, we'll see. We will see.
Please tell me
Right.
it's gonna be like really nitpicky notes with like, why has this happened?
No, actually, they're quite well formulated notes. I think there's one nitpicky thing there. Maybe two. But some of them are actually quite relevant.
Go for it.
So, well, does anyone else want to start the ball rolling just so I can come in and counter their arguments?
I prefer you to do it so I can come in and counter your argument.
I'm currently
Well,
I'm currently
basically,
multitasking.
so obviously there's going to be spoilers.
Oh yeah, spoilers. Sorry. Oh no.
Quicksilver dies.
What did you expect from a review of a film?
Spoilers, Quicksilver gets battered.
Fucking
Got about 12 bullets in his back.
fucking destroyed. Yeah, to be
Like
fair,
Julius Caesar, except with bullets.
except to be fair, it's a Marvel film. He'll be back next film.
Probably.
Oh, hello guys! I love Stark now.
He's
Yeah,
my
not
favorite.
yet. Okay, basically, on the whole of it, I'm just going to say this, that'll sum up the film. It was mindless entertainment. There's nothing that I was expecting it to do for me. And it was just, I went in expecting violence, over the top action scenes, and nothing more. But what I will say is that there was nothing really game changing about the film. Like, I felt it was just a film. It just happened. They seemed to like brush off all the events that happened as well, as if to be like, okay, whatever, I'm cool with that. And like, the only game changing thing was obviously the after credits sequence with Thanos. We're like, yeah, we already know about the Infinity Stones, but that's the most important thing that happens in the film, that he gets the gauntlet, and that's not even in the film. Like, the whole film seemed like a contractual obligation for everyone. Like, they sort of had to make the film before they could do anything else. And I watched the Sky Movies Avengers Age of Ultron special, and Joss Whedon was like, yeah, you know, I'm just going to make this film until I have to go. And I was like, he just can't be bothered making it. He's just made it because he has to. And I think, like I was saying to Josh earlier, it could just be summed up in like an hour and a half. Like, the majority of the stuff that happened in the film didn't have to happen. Could have just kept it as a simple plot. Yeah, it just didn't really need to be made, did it? Like, the way they just brushed off the events made it seem like it was just an episode of the cartoon. You know, where the effects just had nothing to do with anything else. So, yeah.
Yeah. I get you. How do you feel about that, Alex?
He's in a stunned
Oh,
silence.
no. Well, to be fair, I get what you're saying with that, but then you could sort of argue with that with the first film. But then, like, we sort of have hindsight now, because, like, with the first film, like, they just push it all off at the end, and then they sort of, like, they addressed each character's sort of, like, reaction to the Avengers in their own films. Like, well, the best example for this is, like, Iron Man 3 with Tony Stark, because, like, obviously he went into, like, a wormhole or whatever the fuck it was. And, like, in the film, he just pushes off, like, just done that. No big deal. Don't really care. And, like, then, obviously, they follow up in Iron Man 3 where, like, they like give it, like, a real sort of, like, dose of real life sort of thing. So, I think your argument's really valid, but I just say, like, wait until, like most of the other films till we get to see, like, their, like, reactions to it, sort of that.
See, with that though, like in the first Avengers film, they do kind of like hint at it at the end and stuff. They're like, oh yeah, well this is going to start the ball rolling for like a whole new thing. Like you see the interview with Stan Lee at the end of, well he's obviously not played Stan Lee, but it's his cameo. He's like, Avengers in New York, and you're like, that kind of has like the whole knock-on effect, which leads into the other films. This just kind of, it ended when the Vision like destroyed the last little robot, and it just sort of ended at that. And then everyone split off into their own separate ways, which I think it did set up nicely what was happening. I just didn't think that what happened in the film was dealt with necessarily well. And the same with, like, it's almost as if Joss Whedon, this is another one of the nitpicky things, that Joss Whedon didn't watch Captain America 2, because, like, Bucky just kind of brushed off the whole, not Bucky, Steve just brushed off the whole Bucky thing. He was like, what, you didn't find him? Okay. And it just carries on with that, with the events of Age of Ultron. Like, all the side effects and things and the complications of the whole plot were just sort of tossed aside and brushed under the rug, so to speak. They just sort of like finished. But yeah, I get what you're saying about in the next films. It's obviously going to take a toll on it.
But actually, on that note though, I do agree with you there, because, like, they did have loads of, like, character plot lines they set up from, like, each individual film. Like, Thor was actually tech traverse, so I don't see, like, why he had to keep on, like, wanting to go back to Asgard and stuff. Like,
Yeah,
because, like, at the end of Dark World, he even said, like, I'm gonna leave. I don't want to be king. I'm leaving, so I become, like, the defender of Earth.
yeah,
Obviously, like what you mentioned, like Captain America's story from Winter Soldier, trying to find Bucky. I mean, I'm glad they addressed it, but I'm still not happy the way they did address it.
yeah.
Also, the fact with Black Widow, I feel like that's like the one of the only ones they sort of kept the same, because, like, they sort of explored her character a lot more and, like, went into her backstory a lot more. And I thought that, like, that was how they should have done it with the other characters.
Yeah, what I was saying? Yeah, it's like what you were saying about Thor when he's like, oh, I've got to go back to Asgard. And you're just like, but you already know what it is. We all know it's the Infinity Stones. And they know it is as well. Because they knew what the Tesseract was. And in Guardians of the Galaxy, everyone knew it was an Infinity Stone.
Yeah.
And
what I think they should,
whatever was in Thor the Dark World was also an
Yeah.
Infinity Stone.
I
So
mean-
they all knew it was. So there's no point for Thor to be like,
like,
and
I know why they did that.
freaking out
'Cause, like,
about it.
I know, like, why they did that, because, like, obviously the characters didn't know, but, like, they didn't need to go off on, like, a half an hour like tangent in the film. They could have just done, like, a quick, like, little 10-minute thing instead.
That's exactly what I said to Josh, isn't it? With the dreams with Thor didn't need to happen, and the dreams with everyone else didn't need to happen,
I mean,
except for maybe Black Widow, because that's obviously a backstory.
actually, no, I do think Thor's need to happen, because that's sort of setting up for Ragnarok and the comic books, like, story.
Yeah, but I mean, like the plot it took with the Infinity Stones didn't need to take where he goes back and he's like, wait, I'm missing something, and I'm just like, shut up, Thor.
Like, I reckon what should have happened is, in each dream, if they're doing a dream for individual characters, they should have done that to set up their next movie. Like,
Yeah,
as much as I love Steve's one could be improved so much better by adding Bucky in
Steve's
there.
was the best one, like for
yeah,
him
that's what I
as a
said that to
character.
you, didn't I, Josh?
Yeah, because it's him back in the day, he's got his girl and he's still buff, so he's just like, yeah, party.
I get that, like, but like, I think they could have used them for a much better like purpose.
Steve's didn't go anywhere.
Yes.
Like, obviously Natasha's and Bruce's, they like
What should we do?
built up to something,
we didn't
but
even raise
Steve's
Bruce's,
just kind of
did we?
happened.
Yeah, yeah. What were your thoughts like on like the Black Widow and Hulk, romance?
Well, it was actually really good, but like I wasn't expecting it. Like I thought
Yeah.
it was going to be between Hawkeye and Black Widow, but
Yeah.
no.
I like the reveal with Hawkeye, like where he said, "Oh yeah, this is why we're not together. I have a wife."
Yeah, I thought that was quite good. But with what's the name, Black Widow and Bruce,
it was quite spontaneous.
I thought it had just been thrown in there for subplot. It's like Black Widow is supposed to be like this powerful character, and she's like strong and independent, and it just seemed cheap of like Joss Whedon and everyone else to sort of just make her the romantic subplot in this film. Like she had nothing else to offer in the film other than that.
Yeah.
Like it just seemed really cheap and ridiculous.
I mean, even if they're going to add it into it, which they did, obviously, but like they could have made it a lot stronger. Like instead of her just instantly like them two instantly having a chemistry, they could have like built it up. I think you know what I mean.
Yeah, because it wasn't even present in the last film.
No, or like
No.
or in any of the other films. It's not even been hinted at any of the films.
Yeah,
If anything,
it just happened.
Yeah, if anything, it's been the Hawkeye and like Black Widow.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, especially with that. So like I say, I love like the little twist they had with like Hawkeye actually having like a family and stuff.
Yeah.
But I do think they should have like played with it more, made it like much more enjoyable for the audience. Because like I did enjoy it. Like I'm not gonna lie, but they could have like used
Done it a different way, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I think we have to address the best part of the film though.
What?
The credits.
Well, I was gonna say Ultron.
He's the most interesting part of the film, definitely. Yeah. Like.
Yeah.
He's the
And
highlight
Vision,
of it.
actually, as well, I think.
What? Sorry.
I just
Ultron and Vision, I think.
Yeah. Yeah. What are you saying?
Oh, yeah, I was just gonna say that Ultron. I said this to you as well.
Mm.
That I don't think it was so much the character of Ultron that gets everyone excited about him. I think it's just the voice.
Yeah.
Mm.
Like I said to Josh as well, that it doesn't have to be James Spade. You could replace him with anyone with a good voice, and the character, and everyone would fall in love with the character.
Yeah.
But if you just had someone with a regular voice, the character would be nothing. So I don't think that's. And I said that what he was saying, sometimes it was good dialogue, and sometimes it was like really bad.
Mm.
And I don't think that if he didn't have a good voice, no one would think he was a good villain. And with him, he just sort of like, he doesn't do anything to try and stop the Avengers. He just sits there and like he knows that he's going to get defeated, which I think it just renders the whole thing a bit pointless, because he's just like, yeah, okay, he doesn't really do much. He just sort of stands there and gets beaten up, if that makes sense.
Mm. Like, for being artificial intelligence trying to be better than human beings, he's sort of like, his downfall is his ego, in a way. Like,
Yeah.
oh, things must be this way, because I said so, and humans are silly. And, yeah. I mean, like, I really wanted more of his character to be shown, and, like, to have longer scenes with him in it. Because he is the most interesting part of the whole thing, and, like, there's so much you could do with a character like that.
I'm quite happy that like they never like showed the death of Ultron as well, because he's such a major character in the comics. Like he always comes back. So I'm quite happy they did that, because they're not going back to the comic book films of the 80s where it's like, you like this villain, tough shit, it's dead. Looking at her, you know. Batman.
See, that's another thing I said to Josh, isn't it? I was like half expecting them to just bring back one of the robots, which I was disappointed that they didn't.
Hmm.
That was one of the only things that I predicted about the film that wasn't right.
Yeah, like that last robot is probably the closest we'll get to like a how Ultron looks in the actual comics,
Yeah.
and like I don't know, he could have upgraded himself to be like how Ultron was in the film originally, but it didn't happen. They had that. I mean, it was a nice scene, like the last scene with that Ultron robot, but yeah. Plus, like I thought the Vision didn't. Well, the Vision didn't want to kill Ultron, but he had to because he was like gonna disturb the peace.
Yeah.
But he could have let that one go, like that last robot.
Yeah. That's why I'm quite happy. Like they sort of like left it ambiguous. So we saw it was like a flashing light, and I was like,
Oh
oh.
yeah, yeah. You could have
Because
teleported him somewhere. Who knows? Mm.
I dislike the way that they handled all of like Ultron's death and stuff like that. I said it's the Dark Knight Rises all over again. The way they just
Oh, like the
kill off
main
Bane in
Ultron,
like
yeah.
10 seconds. Like an obscure character comes in and just kills the villain like that with no second word or anything. Like there was no sort of ultimatum for Ultron. They sort of went, "We're going to stop you," and then she ripped his heart out. Like
yeah,
no sort of
I get you there.
moral with it. Like
Mm.
it just happened. Like I came out of it, and the first Avengers film, I was like, "Wow." I felt like there was a genuine threat, like while watching it.
Mm-hmm.
But with this one, I just felt, okay, that just happened. I'm
What?
gonna go home now and have my dinner.
what I think they should have done, which is what they've been teasing us as like all the Phase 2 films, is like this is like I think the most prominent one I can remember is the Iron Man 3 trailer, where they had Jarvis tell Tony Stark that there was 7 victims falling out the plane, and he could only save 3.
Yeah.
Just let the audience think, shit, he might actually not be able to save everyone, which would be like a really cool thing to throw into the Marvel universe. And like I was hoping they could have like done that in this film because it's Ultron. He's like one of the biggest Avenger villains of all time.
Mm.
Obviously, it would have been amazing to like actually like have him kill like something major. I mean, fair enough, kills Quicksilver, but like they didn't really focus on Quicksilver because they knew he was gonna die. If you get me, that's how I sort of getting the feeling of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, like you can tell that he was only a periphery character.
Mm.
Usually the cliche is
By
that
the way,
like. Sorry, well.
No, I was just gonna say, by the way, that they didn't focus on him much.
Yeah. Usually the cliche is that they set him up, and they're like, "Oh, isn't he great? Isn't he fantastic? Oh, he's changed his ways," and then he gets killed, and you're like, "Oh," but that didn't really happen here. It was just
Just
there.
more like they focused on Scarlet Witch, who was like, right, so it's either going to be Hawkeye or Scarlet Witch is going to die. And then, like, they just went with the most random character they could have.
Mm.
Yeah.
So was it? I felt like this was too much of a setup film, though. As much as I do like it, was too much of a setup film.
Yeah.
Like, I agree with Alex, like saying that you felt like they were contractually obligated to do this.
Yeah, it's like, yeah, there's had the however many films that they need to fulfill.
Mm.
Let's just throw them all into this one to get to knock one down.
Yeah, but then again, though, I do know that like Joss Whedon, when he signed up for Avengers, like he said, "Alright, I want to do a film with Ultron," and obviously Kevin Feige and all them already said, "We've already kind of got an idea and a half-written script, so you're gonna go with that, and then make the next film." So I could sort of, so I'm quite happy like Joss Whedon actually got to do this because like you can tell where he's put his like his marker and touch on it, which I really like.
Yeah, he said that Ultron was never really defined in the comics, and in this film he is, which I agree with. But I also think that this film, they only made it because of the success of the first Avengers film.
Yeah.
Like, that's definitely what's happening. They didn't need this film to continue the story.
Yeah.
Like, the only defining points that happen, really, is the tensions between Tony and Cap, which obviously foreshadows Civil War, and Thanos getting the Infinity Gauntlet, and the characters knowing that there are more Infinity Stones out there. They're the only, like, three major things that this film said. Everything else is just kind of, like, filler.
Yeah.
Like, I was quite bored also with the new roster they have for the Avengers. Like, she said, like, everything's gonna change at the end. There's gonna be a whole new setup. I'm like, alright, yeah, there's a new setup, but like, it wasn't. It sort of just like happened. It wasn't like built up.
Yeah, like especially with what's his name, Falcon.
He.
I forgot what his name is.
That made me laugh, actually.
He wasn't in the film at all.
He had one scene, and that was it.
Yeah, and then he showed up at the end, and I was like, "What are you doing? You didn't do anything to help anyone here."
Oh. Dear, oh dear.
Josh, what time is it coming up? What time is it coming up to? Because I reckon we should probably just make some final statements.
Ooh, another thing though.
Oh, after this, then.
The Hulkbuster.
Oh yeah.
I said to Josh that did not need to be in the film at all. They just wanted a big flashy special effects sequence. There was no need for it to be in the film.
To be honest, though, it did pay off. I loved it.
Yeah, like the action sequences, they were good, very impressive. Yeah, but why blow the budget on a sequence like that when you could have had a better fight sequence with Ultron, as opposed to just him sending loads of minions down? Because that reminded me too much of the first Avengers film with Loki. Like, Loki is obviously just a guy. Like, he can be killed. But Ultron, he's an AI made out of vibranium. What is it?
It's
vibranium.
Yeah, vibranium. Well, vibranium. It wasn't really added into the film, which kind of annoys me because I feel like, yeah, I've got vibranium. Like,
yeah, and then it's like, wait, what did you use it for? Did you use it to create yourself a body or to create that, like the propeller at the end?
Yeah.
I thought that was just a bit of a. Yeah. But the Hulkbuster just annoyed me. I was like, fair enough. It looks nice. Does it need to be in the film? What does it do for the narrative?
Well, I thought that kind of sort of was like, sort of like, I think it was just really just to show off their like more of Scarlet Witch powers, but like I do agree they could have done that in a better way.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I think the one thing that I was most disappointed with is that, like, you know the final battle where it's like all of them around the city everywhere.
Yeah.
I did love that, but I felt like it wasn't a final battle.
No, it felt like it was one that they'd throw in to the middle of the film.
It felt like Joe, you're playing a video game and like there's the wave of enemies, but just before the boss.
Yeah.
More or less, we got the wave of enemies, but we had no boss.
Yeah.
The whole film just felt like filler, to be honest.
Yeah.
Between the first fight at the beginning and the last fight at the end, everything in between was just filler, to be honest. Like, you could have cut it down to make a film that was an hour and a half long.
Plus, also, the one thing, being a Captain America fan, one thing that really annoyed me is they didn't emphasize that like Captain America really was like the leader. They kept the focus more or less on like Tony Stark.
Yeah, I think the only thing that they did to address that was Tony Stark saying, "Yeah, no, he's the leader. I just invent things and make everything look nice."
Yeah, because like, if you get me, he was more the leader in name, not by action.
Yeah.
Like, I think the only time we've actually seen Captain America from the comics is the Winter Soldier.
Yeah.
Because like he's like all self-righteous, he inspires people just by being there and stuff. Whilst in this film, he's like, I'm gonna hang around the back and just have different points of view from you because I'm American.
Yeah. The was like, I thought that it was quite a funny film, but I said to Josh as well that it was like it was a kids film trying to pretend it's an adult's film as well. And the only person who really looked like they were into the film was Jeremy Renner. Everyone else was just kind of like, yeah, okay. Like, I thought he was just there. He was loving it, but everyone else was like, yeah, okay, just another acting gig.
Alright then, Well, end of the sale then.
So, Alex, out of 10, how do you rate? On a scale of 1 to 10, how do you rate Age of Ultron?
I'm gonna give it probably, to be honest, because I want to give it a 9. Honestly, I do think obviously it did have faults, but then again, every film has faults. I thought this was a really good film. Obviously it's a filler. I think everyone knew it was going to be a filler. Everyone, like just by the way, like the trailers were set up as well. And it did disappoint me the fact that like they sort of just used Ultron a bit. It's like, here's Ultron. Okay, there we go.
Yeah.
Like they didn't really put him to his like full ability sort of thing, which is why I'm quite happy they left it on the Ambiguous in for him, because if he comes back, he could like redo that without Joss Whedon. Which I'm not saying anything bad about Joss Whedon. Joss Whedon's like a really good director and producer and writer, but obviously more could have been done. But I'm happy with the film we got. Josh,
I can't really rate. It was definitely a comic book film. In that.
You're not wrong.
In
You're
that.
not wrong there.
yeah, look, it's fucking Captain Pakistan, yeah.
Let's not be racist here, Alex.
Come on now.
Come on, mate.
Like if.
I'm sorry, lads.
It's all right. Like when it feels like when you go to the comic shop and you pick up a comic, just any old comic from any old timeline or whatever, and then you read it, things happen, and then you put it down and you're just like, oh, all right then, and then you get on with your life, and like you might giggle at the occasional witty thing or amusing thing, or like say, ooh, that was interesting, or oh, that made me feel something, but it just felt like going to a film in that you can spend 2 hours of your life in a screen and just killing time, really. I don't know. It was fun, but not fun enough for me. So probably like a 5 or something.
What? Before you say it was Alex, sorry, I think everyone would have been much pleased for with, like, don't get me wrong, I'm happy Civil War's a Captain America film, because I'm a Captain America fan and all that. But I think the audience would have been like much more pleased with like the Avengers being a Civil War film or something like that.
See, I would have preferred Age of Ultron as an Iron Man film, and Civil War as the Avengers.
Yeah.
I think that would have been a good choice.
Yeah. Yeah, because yeah, with the story like Age of Ultron, there is the possibility of falling into the Iron Man 2 trap where there's like too much to keep a tab open for, and like you could explore a lot more if there was less.
Yeah.
To play about with.
Like I think it didn't need to be an Avengers film. Because half of the Avengers were just there to fight her. Bruce Banner was only there to help Tony make her. Cap was there to argue against her. Black Widow was there to fall in love with Bruce. Quicksilver and Scarlet Witch were only there to fill in the gap from the Winter Soldier end credits and to offer some sort of emotional trauma for the audience. And Tony Stark was obviously there to create it, but also to like fight it because it's a part of it's his creation, isn't it? Which I think it would.
Ways to go about doing that kind of story.
Yeah, it just didn't do much for me. If I'm completely honest, not much.
There we go. That was our little take on Age of Ultron.
Tune in next month for me talking about probably Jurassic Park. For days.
I'll probably be sat there being biased because I didn't grow up with it.
Yeah, fair enough. And I'll just be there saying dinosaur.
I'm sure the next review that we'll all do together then will probably be Star Wars.
Yeah, most likely.
Cool.